Okay, so it's the start of the Wuthering Waves version 2.3 anniversary version, which again is absolutely amazing. Obviously, a lot of people are very excited for it. I haven't actually managed to play it yet, but I'll definitely give you my full thoughts on it in tomorrow's video. But essentially, I wanted to talk about something that already came up before the update even released, which is kind of crazy because it seems like a lot of these people have a massive agenda against Wuthering Waves no matter what. Now, yeah, as you know, we've had a ton of advertising for version 2.3 and it's gone very well. And one of the big things that they were advertising was the fact that we're getting a Steam version. Now, Steam is going to be a great, addition to Wuthering Waves and stuff like that. I've talked about it in yesterday's video where I essentially said, it's going to provide a lot more discoverability and also is going to bring in a influx of a lot of new players coming over from Steam, which obviously is going to be great for Wuthering Waves in general and going to be great for, just introducing a lot of new players coming over to the game. But obviously, yeah, a lot of people were able to wishlist it and even download the game before the actual game came out. Before 2.3 even had an update, people were able to download the game during the maintenance period, which obviously allowed people to review. Now, I think a lot of people were kind of expecting this in the background, but essentially Wuthering Waves has been hit by a small wave of kind of, anti, Wuthering Waves review bombing. Now, it's nothing bad. A lot of the main reviews over on Steam are very, very positive. If I just go and look at it right now, it says very positive here. But there has been about, 13% of negative reviews, which a lot of them have been pretty unfair. Now, obviously, there's his first tweet from Captain Cavernous here saying, "Dumbasses already review bombing Wuthering Waves on Steam. Sad day for the unemployed." And then they're saying, "If you're wondering whether playing a Chinese free-to-play gacha is a good idea or not, then you've probably never played one before. I strongly advise you to keep it away. Gacha games are a little bit more than gambling simulators." So again, they're saying that. And obviously, I understand that from a kind of aspect. Obviously, some people want to steer people away from playing gacha games because, the gacha systems are so bad. Not just for Wuthering Waves, but for games in general. And, I don't have much problem with that. But it's people like this below saying, really bad anniversary and anniversary awards, predatory 24 banners, and like 20 in-game pools for damage control of the situation. First of all, it was 30, so they got it wrong, but okay. Good job at ruining the reputation you're trying to build so hard, Kuro. Now, yeah, again, it seems like a lot of these people were just waiting for the Steam version to come out so they could go and type a little negative review. Because, again, they've literally done this on frame 1 of the game releasing, which obviously tells you exactly where the headspace is at. They're not there to be, kind of constructive or actually provide a decent review for the game where they can be like, okay, there are some negative aspects to it, but there is overall quite a lot of positive aspects to it. No, they just want to go straight ahead and go bad anniversary awards, bad game, not recommended, which I think is just so dumb. Obviously, there's even more as well. Apex, Eagle, and the Gacha Police process trash game, no limited 5-star from the anniversary. Again, really bad anniversary, which is the one we just saw. Be aware that developers censored a limited 5-star character that's already out, Cantarella, and who people have spent money on. And not only did they not compensate for anyone, but to this day, they didn't even acknowledge it happening. Even Hoyoverse didn't allow themselves to do something so scummy. Which, again, I just think is absolutely crazy because, it's just not that big of a deal. I feel like the Cantarella censorship was not bad. We also had a fix to the Fleurdelys censorship, which I might make a separate video on, which I think is absolutely amazing. And it's arguably even better than it was before. So hopefully, we do have a little bit of an update on that as well. And also, yeah, someone put Scar is not playable. So again, a lot of these reviews are kind of stupid. Ryuko also talked about it as well, saying most of the negative reviews on wuwa on Steam right now are people complaining about anniversary awards and changes made to Cantarella. Which, yeah, I definitely think that is the main place where a lot of this hatred is coming from. It's not really coming from, the Hoyo fans or the secret, assassins for Hoyoverse who go in the background and trying to destroy everything. Maybe there are a couple in there, but, obviously I think the majority of it is people angry at these. Now, you can say that maybe it's Hoyoverse people trying to put it on, but I honestly don't think it is. I think it's just people that are disgruntled with the game for whatever reason. They're saying servers off, will update later. I'm not a fan of gacha, which again is just crazy. Classic greedy gacha game, extremely bland open world, and some of the worst writing even in gacha, which again is just one of the most delusional takes I think I've ever seen, ever, in video games. And so please pull Steam Deck, otherwise the game is fun and a lot to do, but disappointing. Everything else on the planet can play this game, but Steam Deck, which, I think that's kind of dumb. They've just kind of put a negative review there just because there's no Steam Deck version. All you need to do is advocate for it and ask for it in the feedback and everything like that but obviously this person decided to leave a negative review, which obviously, you know, leaves a little bit of a stain on Wuthering Waves, which, you know, doesn't help at all. They say remove censorship and never do it again. Day one player here, I was a whale player who turned free to play after the censorship started, which made me lose my trust and passion for the game. They lost their trust and passion for the game because they removed a line from Cantarella. Yeah, that is the state of gacha gaming right now. You remove a line from a gacha character and someone loses their trust and passion in the game, which is absolutely crazy. They say, I now believe that the character designs will likely be censored before they even release and will never know what was lost in terms of design. Again, very dumb there. The game's direction is shifting towards censorship. No skins or characters feel safe now, and most likely again we'll never get characters like Cantarella, Fleurdelys, or Camellia again in the future, which is a big L for me at least, which I just don't think is the case. We saw the skins that were coming out for I think it was, who was it? It's Carlotta and Changli. You know, they both looked absolutely amazing, and they both definitely were not censored. So again, you know, maybe if they do censor in the future, I do see their point, but you know, they're still releasing stuff like this, which is honestly amazing. So again, they're wrong. They say L, never thought they will release on Steam. Don't play it because I didn't get my free Zani. Again, someone complaining about not getting a free character is like boohoo. And then also we got, I spent $200 on waifu, and 8 days later her entire character design was censored. No refunds, no statement for developers. The biggest garbage game I've ever seen. Again, I feel like a lot of this stuff is very misleading to a lot of the Steam users as well, because whenever people think censorship, they think like extreme censorship, you know, like covering up all this kind of stuff, which again can be pretty bad for a game. But whenever we're talking about just a line on Cantarella, obviously these people do not know what extent they're talking about whenever they're talking about censorship. So obviously a lot of people just assume the extreme, a lot of people assume the worst, so they think that it's, you know, doing pretty bad in terms of the censorship, when honestly it's really not the end of the world. And I'm sure if a lot of people were to look at it, they'll be like, oh, actually, okay, that's fine. And I think that, you know, a lot of these articles are pretty misleading. Now, obviously, they, you know, saying, honestly, I don't think this is an attack by horror shows, but just the incredible insecure incels and beggars we unfortunately have in the Wuthering Waves community. Unless someone has evidence otherwise, we shouldn't just shift the blame all onto Hoyo and their fans. That's not cool. Again, yeah, definitely true there. Definitely true from Ryuku. I don't think it is mainly Hoyoverse fans. I think it is just disgruntled Wuthering Waves fans. Marco Meeple says, question, where is the vagina, which is getting crazy. Ryuku said, if there's no blatant Kabuto shadow on every single female character, then obviously they don't need one like a Barbie doll. Simple logic, really, for those who need it, which again is so funny. And yeah, again, I feel like this situation is getting, you know, pretty bad. I feel like, you know, a lot of people are disgruntled with it, which I do understand. It's not nice having a character change, but let's be real, it's really not the end of the world. And obviously, yeah, people saying very lacking and scummy anniversary. Again, I don't think it was the scummiest thing ever. You know, it was bad, but I don't think it's, you know, terrible. Could be much worse. We've seen much worse. Obviously, if we sort this as well by, I don't know if I can actually sort this by negative, but again, you know, a lot of the reviews so far have been pretty positive, which again is great to see. But they say, yeah, you know, with the Steam Deck one, please add Linux and Steam Deck support, which again would be nice. But again, you don't have to leave a negative review on Wuthering Waves just to ask for Steam Deck. Just ask for it in the feedback. It's really that simple. Obviously, I cannot start this game on my Steam Deck. Again, ask for it on the feedback. You don't need to put it in the not recommended thing. You don't write not recommended just because you can't get it on the Steam Deck. It's a good game. Oh my god, bro. These people are so dumb. They say, I absolutely love this game, and I'll gladly give it a thumbs up if the anti-cheat didn't stop me from playing on Steam Deck. So I think a lot of this also is coming from people that can't play on Steam Deck. Yeah, compatible with Steam Deck, but you can't play it because of anti-cheat. Still not playable on Steam Deck after waiting for months. If you don't want to try it with Steam Deck, don't. Which again, I don't know why there's negative reviews behind that, but again, they never promised anything about a Steam Deck release. They never promised any of that, and people are leaving all these negative reviews. It's just like, oh, come on, like let's be real here. Let's not just be stupid and act like, you know, they promised us a Steam Deck version. They didn't, and you shouldn't be leaving just negative reviews like this on, you know, on this game just because you didn't get your Steam Deck version. But hey, you know, that's pretty much all that's gone on in this situation. I thought it was kind of weird, and obviously this is the first bit of attack that Wuthering Waves has been getting for their new update, and obviously every single Wuthering Waves update there's usually a new thing with someone attacking it or someone, you know, kind of pressuring it, which is always crazy. But yeah, if you guys did enjoy this video, then don't forget to leave a like and subscribe, and yeah, go over to GameStop, use my code CASA, get 10% off, and I'll see you guys in the next one. That's all. See ya.